Alrighty, it's your boy Zxous, and today we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. Now today we're going to be doing a showcase on Noah. I feel like it's been a long time since I've done a showcase on an older character in the game. Obviously I've done showcases for like Biscuit and Sakura when they released and stuff like that, but I feel like I haven't really done showcases for a lot of the older characters in the game that you guys might be interested in. So Noah is a character I just pulled recently, I guess now the second last, because I pulled Freema. That was the last character I pulled. But if you guys watch my summon video, it's actually out on the same day this video is coming out. So we're going to be talking about Noah, seeing how good she is. Unfortunately, I can't test her out in PvP because I don't have PvP stamina. But that's where I feel like she's going to shine most. But let's talk about her because she's a really good Pilgrim. And she's the only summonable Burst 2 Pilgrim in the game. So you kind of need to get her. Or as of right now, you must have her in order to get a full burst for the Pilgrim Tower, right? She's the only burst 2 summonable Pilgrim, and the other one is a free-to-play one, but you can't even get her, not for a while. So let's talk about it. So her skills are going to be level 1 right now. I do plan on upgrading them. Her attraction, this is all level 1, fresh off the boat, right? So Noah here affects all allies, has a 10% chance to cast when being attacked. So anybody on the team, this is not only just her, which is I think is a great skill here. Basically when anybody on your team gets hit, there's a 10% chance to have damage reduction basically by 4.4%. That can go all the way up to, I don't know what percent that is at level 10, but of course we'll take a look at that after the actual showcase. But that is pretty good, right? It is still a 10% chance, but thankfully it's for all allies, so you have a better chance of proccing it rather than it just being if she was to get attacked, right? So keep that in mind. Her burst skill, or her second skill, my bad, activates when attacking with a full charge. She taunts enemies guaranteed and lowers that enemy's attack by 9.35% for 5 seconds at level 1, which is good, right? This is a character where you can actually control her taunt, right? One of the few characters where you can actually control her taunt. I think, honestly, she might, I might be wrong, but I think it's only her and Noise. And then obviously Makima can control it as well, but Makima's after 120 shots. But I think it's just her and Noise where it's like you use a full charge, you can taunt, right? So theirs you can control it more than you can Makima's, right? And then her burst skill is actually pretty broken. Taunts all enemies for 10 seconds, affects all allies, invincibility for 3 seconds, and then increases their defense by 88.93% for 10 seconds. So I kind of want to test her out with Sakura, right? I kind of want to test her out with Sakura because I feel like with Sakura, especially since we're in what's it called, chapter 19, all the enemies are already wing-coded enemies. So with Sakura's burst and then her burst and with Biscuit as well, it's gonna be a bit much. The only thing with that team, I won't have a full rotation because we'll only have one burst 1 unit or one burst 3 unit, but it is fine. We're still gonna test it out in terms of tanking and stuff like that because I think it's gonna be a very nice comp. In PvP, honestly, you could probably get it going 2 to take no damage. Again, the comp only kind of guarantees you that you only have one burst 3 unit, but I think it's gonna be fine. So we're gonna put Sakura on the team, put her here. Let me just make sure Sakura has gear. Okay, she has no cube. Okay, let me fix this. Alright, so I just gave her a cube that will kind of increase her bullets for her, what's it called? Our bullets for her defense increase. But yeah, basically with Noah and Sakura, we're actually going to have a massive, when we get into a full burst especially, wing-coated enemies will do no damage to us. We will have mad defense from Sakura herself, insane defense from Noah's burst, and then we also have the 10%. I do not believe we should be taking damage here. So if you guys look at Noah now, when she uses a full burst, which she just used, she should be taunting right now. Defense increase? No. I don't know if she just, like, if she gets a taunt effect. I could try and see for myself. So there's a full burst, yeah. So it's just there. So right now we have there's Noah's full burst. We just got Sakura's and Noah's full burst. So we really are not gonna take any damage whatsoever. I mean, it looks like she's taking nice damage, but she's healing as well. Which is from what's her name? Biscuit, right? Because she went below 50%. So we're tanking quite a lot too, like I said. which is not bad. So we got to 50 again. So we just procced Sakura's or Biscuit's burst or second skill twice here, right? So as you kind of see, the team is not really taking any damage, right? She's taunting and kind of just taking the damage all by herself. I think with a character like Noah, you probably want to have a healer. Biscuit is somewhat of a healer for Noah, but not as consistent because it's like only after she gets to the 50%, and that can only happen twice a match. But I feel like with a team like this, like she's gonna die here, right? Which she died, but she did her job to like kind of keep us all alive and tank. I feel like, again, with somebody like Noah, you probably want to have a healer, so keep that in mind. I mean, I think we can actually kind of we can redo that and slap a healer on the team instead of Biscuit. We can try that. Rapunzel maybe, right? And then with Rapunzel, we'll have a healer. We'll still have the defense from Noah. Hopefully we'll still have the defense from Sakura, but we will also be healing now, right? So she's a pretty good tank, right? Again, I think in PvP she's gonna shine more. Another comp I want to try outside of PvP, surprisingly, is actually Noah, Jackal, and Sakura. That's a lot of burst 1 characters. No, it's not. It's only 2 still. I just have to replace because this already has 3 burst 1 characters on the team, right? But I feel like with a comp like this, Noah should not really die ever, right? Keep in mind, like a skill like this is kind of like we have to sustain damage, right? Where they have all these, like, I don't know what these are. I don't know if they're missiles or whatever these green things are, but all these proc, right? With the 10% chance with sustained damage. I'm not sure if it ever procced here. It lasts for 10 seconds, so I don't think it did proc for anybody, right? I don't know if it didn't proc. Okay, we could see if we get a buff or anything like that, right? Again, it's still a 10% chance. Okay, we just got a new buff. I'm not sure if we got it. I don't know if it becomes an actual buff or we just have it for 10 seconds. I would love to assume that we actually have it as a buff. Right, so I see we got a new buff. We're taunting enemies. Immune. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't look like at all that, what's it called? Like, we didn't get this buff once. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like we got this buff once. I don't know if it's this effect here. I'm trying to look to see what buff that is, but I'm not exactly sure what buff that is, right? But yeah, with a healer and with Noah and like her burst skill, we literally will not, like, I don't think we can actually die, right? Well, depends actually. Here it looks like they're doing some actual damage, I'm not going to lie. If we can get Sakura's burst skill off and then Noah to taunt here, perfect. That's pretty good too. Obviously we still don't have the damage to beat it with just 1 DPS, but this team seems to be surviving, especially since we have the taunt and we have the defense from Sakura. What I want to try, because I've never tried Jackal outside of PvE, and her skill looks like it would work great in PvE. So we're actually going to slap Jackal on the team, because if you guys do not know, Jackal's first skill basically it's basically one attack 10 times affects one enemy unit with the highest max attack. Basically their damage is increased and what's it called, their damage taken is increased and attack is lowered. And then when entering battles, 2 allies with the highest attack have shared damage and then also defense. So I'm not sure who would have the highest attack on a team like this. I'm hoping, let me see. So one, okay, so it's definitely not her. It's definitely not her. But this is even more defense, right? So we're kind of just showing how the defense works here. Again, this is not really a team I think you're going to want to use in PvE unless you have the damage. Obviously, with a team like this, I only have 1 DPS, so there's no actual damage going out here. But I wanted to use it on this specific stage because of all these little green things that should help proc a thing, right? So right now, I believe it's the characters who, Modernia is one of the characters who, yeah, so Jackal's flash is happening for her, and then I think the other one is happening for, not Noah, but maybe Sakura. Yeah, and Sakura. And then obviously Jackal herself is getting that buff. So a team like this is kind of a very just defensive team. You have the defense from Sakura, from Noah, from Jackal, and then you have the heals from Rapunzel, right? You kind of have a lot going on here. You have defense, you have immunity, you have taunt, right? It's kind of a lot with this full-blown team right here, so keep that in mind. Do keep that in mind. Okay, so we use Jackal's ultimate as well, which I believe gives more defense. Let me just double check. Yeah, so it does give more defense. And then obviously burst skill damage is increased as well. So we just have a lot of defense here, right? Where I don't think we're actually going to die, surprisingly. But like you could see, Noah is kind of going down there. Her skills are level 1, right? And obviously in Chapter 19, you don't want level 1 skills. But she's doing a pretty good job at performing. We have support like Rapunzel to heal her. You have the defense you're looking for. So if you want somebody who can actually provide defense, if you want someone who can taunt and have those abilities, Noah is going to be one of your better options to use as well. You can see we just taunted all that. So that could also be very good for bosses and stuff like that, especially if we're going to run her with Biscuit, right? Biscuit is someone who can keep her alive past 50%. So definitely keep that in mind. She's the only burst 2 unit, so we no longer have a burst 2. But it's fine because we can actually bring her back to life with Rapunzel as well. So it's kind of an insane... Okay, well now Rapunzel's dead. But team, yeah, I mean we tanked there quite a lot too. She was dead, but we kind of tanked there a lot. So overall, a very good defensive tank. Not sure how well she's going to progress in PvE because, again, besides the tank, she's not doing anything else, which is obviously fine because her job is to tank. I believe she's a rocket launcher user, so we do have burst generation there as well, which is not bad. But we're definitely going to take a look at her skills at level 10. Let's take a look at her skills at level 10. Right, it's so sad. The only pilgrim I'm missing now is literally Scarlet and Nylister. But summonable one is only Scarlet. Right, so her level 10 skills, let's see how much the stats increase. So this is 4%. It just goes up to 8%. I honestly don't think this first skill is a skill you should level up, especially since it's a 10% chance. Like, again, it's all allies, so it's kind of better, but I don't know, bro. You guys let me know. 8% of damage reduction, basically, for 10 seconds. It feels like a guaranteed thing for sure, but I don't really like that skill too much. If you don't want to lower their attack too much, this is going to be a good skill just for the taunt purposes. But obviously, I think lowering their attack is also going to be good for you. It's as simple as that. And then because she is a rocket launcher user, right, she has explosion range. So basically that can affect a lot more characters, or a lot more enemies, right? This can affect, it's not only one enemy. That's why it says target and then targets with a brackets and an S. Because basically if it explodes at a full charge and it hits multiple enemies, they're all taunted and their attack is all lowered. So it's a pretty good effect right there. And then obviously her burst skill is a bit insane. Taunts all enemies for 10 seconds, increases defense by well over 130%, right? 133 to be exact. So very good tank. Right, she is kind of a must-have unit essentially because she is the only, in terms of getting a full burst rotation on Pilgrim Tower, which I feel like you're going to need, especially late game when you get higher into Pilgrim Tower. Especially if you can't get Nylister, you kind of need this girl, right? And that's the only problem because even Rapunzel, for example, is the only burst 1 Pilgrim in the game. So for a full burst rotation, you need to have either Rapunzel or Noah and Nylister. And Nylister is a character a lot of people will not see for a long time. But Noah is a summonable character, so keep that in mind. A very good tank, probably one of the better tanks in the game, if not the best tank in the game overall. I wish I could show you guys more in PvP of her. I will have that video out whenever I can do that. Sometime in the future. But you guys let me know what you think about Noah. Let me know if I missed any points. And for now, it's going to be your boy Zxous. I'm out. Later. Peace.